Hello, everyone. So last time I hit a spot where I kind of assume I would need to get all of the traits. I don't actually know. I didn't try all those options, so maybe there was a path forward. But I assume you do need to get everything to actually get the good ending or the true ending or whatever. Since I guess I got the quote unquote good ending. Um, so I figured let's go back and get the stuff I missed. So I guess this could be a bit of a a, a route guide in a sense. So I did empathy for the first one. I don't know if that one matters. I don't think it does. And then apathy for the first delivery, which gave Bint fatigue, um, which let you unlock both wit, like I had before, and then edginess. So edginess is you won't let them hurt you again. Ever. Short fuse takes care of you, but not of others. But who needs those others? Certainly not you. So I figured, let's just. There'll probably just be a lot of skipping around for a bit. As I go through. I assume that's everything I need here because the next one in the list is wit, which I unlock later. Actually save on this. Can I save on this? No. Save. Okay. Oh, I think that's different. Sometimes I think if I wasn't so tired, maybe I could have been king of the world. Okay. Skip. Alright, so what do you say? There are other ways to make people see streets, just wandering back and forth, wearing fake faces, so annoying. Okay. Before I probably did eloquence, maybe. I should probably pull up just the other video and make this easy on myself so I can actually see what I picked. Oh no, I picked anxiety. Okay. Did I? Make sure that's what I actually picked. No, I did do eloquence. Let's see what edginess gets us. I have to mention it's kind of weird how much you're talking to some random delivery guy if you're so not into people. He looked at me with unexpected embarrassment, then seemed to be thinking about something.
Well, would you look at that? You're actually based. You say what you think, huh?
I didn't expect that reaction from them.
I rarely see anyone without a mask. I say whatever I want to, but somehow people never like it.
Looks like they're just stalling. Getting kind of annoying. Sorry, I gotta go. Got a couple more deliveries. Just as I was about to turn and leave, they suddenly twitched forward, lightly touched my shoulder, then quickly stepped back.
Wait!
I stopped and turned around. They looked nervous.
I gotta check something. Something important.
They looked down. So, how can I help? Is this just the same? Yeah, okay. Same text. Blah, 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 blah. This, I think this all turns to empathy still. Yep. That's all the same. Do. Am I reacting to it? Hurry up, found this awesome movie, wanting to watch it. Held off for like 2 whole hours. So I briefly checked my thing, and the next word came up when it was back at home. I assume I did empathy on this one. Yeah. I should keep saving these so I have an actual thing. What's his eloquent reaction? Actually, it was my turn to pick the movie today. But, you know, I might forgive you if most of the popcorn ends up with me this time.
Only if you eat it faster than me.
Well, with your two-handed popcorn grabbing skills, I don't stand a chance.
Oh, by the way, did you get our favorite chocolate milk? I already set out the cups with the straws for us.
I think this is now the same. Yep, blah, 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 blah. I already forgot his name, Robbie. Ever thought about quitting this job? Don't want to do the same. Anxiety. Let's do apathy. I've thought about it plenty of times, but I just don't have a choice. And honestly, I doubt I'd find anything decent that would actually hire me. I don't have any special skills or anything that stands out. But what's with that question, anyways? That rabbit clearly realized he'd said something wrong. He shrugged awkwardly and looked away. Alright, same. I kind of assume the only way forward here is anxiety, but I kind of want to see if edginess does anything interesting. Just cuz. I need to do something about that monster. Somehow neutralize it. Maybe find something heavy to smack it with. But find something heavy enough to stun that angry giant. I don't seem to have the time. Crap! Looking around a bit, I suddenly noticed a large flower pot. I can use it to stun the monster. But how do I do that? Okay, different art. That's something. I could try throwing the pot right at the monster from here. I'm sure it won't have time to react, but there's also a higher chance I'll miss, and then my whole plan falls apart. Or I can get closer and hit it directly with this thing. But can I be quiet enough to stay unnoticed until the strike? It's risky, but maybe a more reliable option. Maybe I can throw a small stone to the side and distract that monster for a few seconds. Then maybe quickly approach and hit it on the head with this clay thing. Can I even knock it out with this pot? It's heavy, sure, but is it enough for this creature? Yep, there he is. Maybe this guy is already doomed, and I should leave before it's too late. Too much risk to my life for all this. Why can't I just figure something out? What is this? A pair of eyes was staring right at me. I'm pinned against the wall, trying to reach.
You think too loud.
What does it say about it? Does it say anything different? End of the Lamb. What does that mean? Know your enemy, or they'll get to know you first. Sometimes it's smarter to run from the wolf, silly lamb. Okay. So back to anxiety. %32%? Clay Pot? Oh, come off it. He's not a complete idiot. That's not how it went down at all. All right. Load back. For a second, I thought I forgot to save it, but I remembered I have to scroll down. Nope, not apathy. Fuck. Should I help him if so? Blah, blah, blah. That's the same thing. Okay. That's funny. Okay. Back. I meant to click that one. And forward. Blah, blah, blah. Was it this one? Hey, are you already zoning out? No, it's the next one that had the word pop up. I assume they don't actually matter for the outcome. Yeah, I did eloquence last time. Let's do... I don't want to just do all the edginess. That's boring. Empathy. Maybe. Just a little. But I'm really curious to see the movie you picked out, since you waited this long for me. I just really need to lie down. Or, better yet, sprawl out. She looked at me with concern. I straightened up abruptly, realizing I really did feel like I was in a dream. Maybe you're hungry. I think this is back to normal. Yep, okay. Skip. Yep. I wonder if not liking a cat post... Maybe not. Changes things. Skip. Right, I can just skip. I was about to... Wait. Oh, scrolling through posts wasn't very interesting, and it wasn't helping me get my mind off the oppressive thoughts. Okay, find the remote, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if clicking... Oh, did I? I forgot to save it. Oh, well. I don't know if doing all this matters... So I'm just going to skip it and see what happens. Okay, all the same. Alright, this one. Yeah. So, last time I picked... What did I pick? Eloquence, I think. Hold. Yes, eloquence. Okay, what's the actual question? By the way, you didn't fall asleep during the movie. That doesn't happen. You're just supposed to read that after everything I saw today. Okay. And I picked eloquence, and that gave me the word analysis eventually. Okay. So, let's see. I already saved, right? Yes. Okay. I want to see. Okay. I feel like I wonder if you pick empathy if you're more forward. I just tried really hard not to fall asleep today. I didn't want to upset you. Haley's face immediately soured as if I'd just confessed to a terrible crime.
So, all those other times you weren't even trying? You just let yourself fall asleep at the slightest yawn? So I had to watch all the endings alone without being able to talk about them with someone right away? Well, okay, if the endings were as awful as tonight's, I'd want to sleep through them too, but still.
She was clearly about to elaborate, but I already saw where this was going and decided to act preemptively. I quickly stuck my hand in my backpack, felt around, and pulled something out, unwrapped it, and handed it to my sister. Her eyes lit up instantly.
Oh, an up bar!
Okay. Different word. I'm so smart. I'm actually proud of myself. Whether or not it's the right word, we'll see. She snatched it from my hand and took an eager bite, instantly forgetting what she was mad about. Girls. Alright, skip. Perception, that's a new one. Notice strange details and things out of place. Pay attention to the little things others miss. Maybe someone's lying to you right now and you don't even realize it. Use your perception, assess the situation, read between the lines. By the way, did you notice the typo in here? I feel like I usually do when I'm reading it out loud, but I didn't. Oh, between. Okay. Then I need to get wit, which was can I find joke? I wonder if this one will only give me perception. I don't remember how to make joke. Okay, yeah. So this option only gets you... I already forgot what it was. Perception. Okay. So we go back. Alright, so I just skipped ahead. I figured I got nothing else out of that. So if maybe in the next Mind Palace I can create wit again and instead go on a perception path. Because I don't know that wit did much for me when I went through the first time. And now I'm sus of this guy. I want to perceive him. So this is back at the house the day after. And this is the quote-unquote homeowner, landlord guy. I took a closer look at him. Well past middle-aged, in an old light-colored jacket and worn-out boots. Everything about him screamed that he belonged here. This was his house. That meant the other guy was just a tenant. Listen, I don't know where he is, but honestly, it looks like he just skipped out. Maybe he didn't want to pay rent? The man's eyebrows shot up.
Well, seems like that. I called him all evening yesterday, but he never picked up. And he promised to pay yesterday. So I came by this morning to sort it out, and he's not even here. Plus, there was some trash bag lying in front of the house, and the backyard was a mess.
I tensed up. So it seems the grocery bag really was on the porch. And what did he mean by a mess in the backyard? Did something happen in the backyard? Something weird? I feel like this is the same. Yes. Blah, 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 blah. Kane, hello. Boop, 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 boo. History. Okay, so asking about the monster. I just want to perceive him because next time I see him, he's a monster. So, you know, you seem pretty well off, and I don't quite understand. Don't quite understand what? I don't quite understand why someone who clearly has money is running around backyards trying to investigate something himself. He looked away, embarrassed, then gave a wry smirk. Yeah, you're right. I'm clearly overdressed for this. Still, let's get down to business. Can you tell me what you saw? I forgot to save, didn't I? Oh well, whatever. I closed my eyes for a second and rubbed my temples. My head still felt heavy, though not as much as yesterday. But the feeling of being out of sorts hadn't gone away. Is this the... Okay, I can just skip this. Blah, 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 blah. Let's just keep looking at him. Or do I be edgy? No, let's just keep looking at him. Make this easy for me to remember. You know, you seem a little too interested in me staying out of it. I was expecting more answers from you, and I don't understand the need for such secrecy when the monster is literally roaming the streets where anyone could see it. Why can't you just help me with this? Kane sighed heavily and adjusted his tie. Your manipulations won't work on me. Not that they need to. I was going to offer my help anyway. The important thing is, don't even think about acting alone or getting the police involved. Trust me, that won't end well. He stood up abruptly from the couch, looked at me with a slight squint, and held out his hand. I froze for a second before reaching out instinctively. Your phone. Give it to me. Oh, okay. Blah, blah, blah. Skip, 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 skip. Hello, Robbie. Wow! Okay, so I can't wit his answer, his response this time. Did I try multiple on this? I don't remember. Save. Here. His plan, to put it mildly, needed some serious work, but his enthusiasm was infectious. Besides, he was more proof that I wasn't going crazy, that all of this was really happening. And it seemed like he also needed someone to confirm he wasn't alone in this. Maybe something really could come of it. Listen, looking for allies is a good idea. But I still don't see how I can help with your plan. And frankly, the plan itself sounds a little shaky. If we're gonna be allies, we can surely come up with something better. As I spoke, Robbie beamed more and more. His face practically melted into a satisfied smile, and he carefully folded his knife and put it away.
I'm not against a different plan. Quite the opposite if we can think of something smarter. I'm all for it. The main thing is that it works, right?
Okay. Then tell me what you know about the monster. Maybe if we gather all the facts, we can figure out its weaknesses. The smile slowly faded from his face. He looked away as if he were guilty of something.
About that. There might be some complications. I'll try to tell you everything, but there's something that makes it all more difficult.
What are you talking about? His ears drooped and his gaze went distant for a moment.
My memory hasn't been so good lately.
Is it back on track? Yeah, back on track.
Skip ahead.
Oh, right. I was like, oh, I'll choose something different this time. Nope. Not an option. Were there all these eyes on this before? Yeah, I assume so. I just didn't notice them probably. How did you get your comment to vibrate? Am I really going to ignore what I just saw above? Made me feel weird. Negative 42 on everything. Didn't notice that before. Oh, this has 666 likes. Haha, screwed you. And I can't just ignore it. Yeah. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, yeah, and ooh. So last number puzzle, let me skip it. So I assume this one will too, which, thank God, this one was tough. Yes, please. I don't want to deal with that. Oh yeah, and then last time I realized you could scroll down on some of these pages. Not this one. But I don't think there was anything interesting. I did notice that maybe are these? I mean, it's a bit of a leap, but R could be Robbie and C could be Kane. Who knows? Because this one, when I clicked it before, did mention him being well dressed. But this says smart guy, so it must not be Robbie. Got him. Was this here before? I don't remember seeing this one. Unless I'm just forgetting. It wasn't there. How did I unlock you? Blimey, didn't realize this thing was invented that long ago. Date something 19 something something. Classification, confidential, for a clearance level 4 and above only. Subject of study, MB, redacted. As expected, the drug and procedure do not produce perfect results. Experimental data indicate that subjects with suppressed memories may partially or fully recover them when exposed to intense stress. The effect is especially pronounced if the stressful circumstances are directly related to the blocked memories. The subject was shown footage of a surgical operation performed on subject redacted, intended to induce psychological stress. The following day, memories of the footage were erased using serum. The same footage was then shown to the subject again. Oh, there was more at the top. Whatever. The subject exhibited a mild deja vu effect, stating that he'd seen something like this before. However, he was unable to connect the sensation to a specific memory. Complete suppression of short-term memory is possible, but emotional response remains and may trigger partial recovery. Test number 2, complete loss of identity. MB. I don't know what MB means. The memories of subject F43.0254 were completely erased, including core elements of identity. The subject was placed in an observation cell with no explanation for their presence. After 2 days, the subject showed signs of psychological distress, expressing anxiety due to lack of understanding of their situation. By the 3rd day, the subject's complaints escalated to severe anxiety accompanied by nightmares. Descriptions of nightmares included images and events linked to suppressed memories. Even with total memory loss, subconscious experiences and fears persist, potentially triggering the recovery of memory fragments. Erasing such substantial memory fragments is not advised, as the recovery is inevitable. Test number 3, stress procedure repetition. Procedure. The subject underwent a painful experimental procedure, after which memories of it were suppressed. The procedure was repeated the following day. Results. The subject shows signs of memory recovery even before the second procedure began, including marked physiological responses, elevated heart rate, sweating, and refusal to continue the experiment. Post-procedure interrogation revealed that the subject experienced a sense of repetition. Why is that quotation mark redacted? And recalled specific details from the first session. Conclusion. Severe emotional trauma indeed appears to significantly stimulate memory recovery. A summary and recommendations. Individuals subjected to MB redacted should avoid situations likely to trigger associations with suppressed memories. Exposure to stress greatly reduces drug efficacy, especially when stress induces strong emotions or physical pain. MB effectiveness is lower in children and adolescents. Despite limitations, MB redacted demonstrated high effectiveness in most controlled conditions. When properly applied, it may become a vital tool for N redacted M Corp. Operations and Corp operations and ensure information security. I saw the period and I thought that was the end of a sentence. But it is just the shortening of corporations or corporation. Okay, so subject of study is MB something. Oh, right. I have to do this. What does perception do? We're picking Robbie or Kane. Still, Robbie just seems too unreliable. He seems like a nice guy, but he's too impulsive. Maybe under different circumstances we could have been friends. If we just met on the street and talked about normal things, like movies, music, food, or work, maybe then he'd be someone I'd enjoy chatting with from time to time. But that's not the situation right now. I can't afford to make a mistake. And honestly, I'm not sure I'm ready to rely on someone like him. He's too unstable. Kane is a different story. Wait, that's weird. In the previous run through, I did have a different mind palace thing here before this choice. Interesting. Why? Because I had the choice. Oh, why am I skipping? I should be reading this. I had the choice to pick neither. Because I had unlocked the Skepsis or whatever. Kane is a different story. I know almost nothing about him, but I get the feeling he knows what he's doing. He's confident and he talks like he's already thought through every step. It feels like he's used to this sort of thing. Which means I'm better off sticking with him. I picked up my smartphone and scrolled through my contacts until I found the number he gave me yesterday. I dialed it and heard it ring, then a short click. How can I help you? I felt a flicker of tension. He answered quickly. Hey, it's Bint. We met yesterday by chance and talked about that thing. Yes, of course. Your timing is perfect. I was about to come see you anyway. I frowned slightly. Really? What for? I figured you were going to move forward one way or another, which means you're liable to do something foolish. Am I wrong? His voice was calm, almost relaxed, but at the same time I could detect an undercurrent of focus, as if he was already one step ahead of me in his mind. Well, yeah, basically. I really couldn't get it out of my head. Which is why I'm going to help you out. Or rather, I'm going to allow you to help me. Let's put it that way. I froze for a second, processing his words. The way he said it made it sound like I was joining something much bigger than myself. Still, his voice wasn't condescending, just confident. Like he had the situation completely under control. I felt a wave of relief. At least he wasn't going to brush me off and tell me to forget the whole thing again. Alright, I'd be happy to help, so what's the plan? You're probably hoping I'll give you more details about the monster, correct? That would be nice. Yes, that would be logical, if you're going to help me. In that case, we should meet somewhere. And where would that be? The place where I keep all my work-related information. We wouldn't want anyone eavesdropping at your apartment, would we? No, I guess not. Although, who would be listening in? Mostly elderly people live on this floor, and a lot of them are hard of hearing. I have to say hello to them multiple times, raising my voice each time. It's doubtful any of them are pressing their ears to my door. Then let's meet on your street. I'm almost there. Okay, got it. I'll be ready. See you shortly. After that, the line went dead. I put my phone down and exhaled. Everything's happening so fast. So, now I'll finally find out what this creature is, and why I was seeing it in my nightmares before I even ran into it for real. Does it affect people's dreams somehow? Maybe it gives off some kind of, aura that makes people fear it before they've even met it? I don't get it at all. This monster seems like something supernatural, and who knows what else it's capable of. "15 minutes later, I was standing outside my building, nervously glancing around. The street was enveloped in a thick, clammy fog that made the city almost feel deserted. For some reason, I suddenly felt too lazy to go anywhere, but I have to now. Or I have to know. I wonder when it'll get here. Cool car. Looks like it just rolled off of a magazine cover. I wonder who owns it. I never learned to drive when I was supposed to. Stylish retro. I recently saw Haley telling her friend that this door was has cursed vibes. I have to say, I agree with her. This says that some residents haven't paid their building maintenance fees yet. My name isn't on the list, thankfully. The flyer on the bottom has someone offering repair services for everything, from plumbing to computers. Someone's a real handyman. The ink is a little blurred from the damp. Looks like it rained last night. It's gone a bit foggy and damp. Better not step in that puddle later. Bush. They bloom so beautifully in the spring. Someone is always taking care of them. I fell into them a couple of times as a kid. It was not pleasant. It smells like fresh greenery after the rain. And there's a floppy disk. Haha! A floppy disk under a bush. Got it. Another rogue data. Well, we know what to do with it. I did also find that there was a tag that I had missed on the back of the house when you come back to investigate. It says RSSV8 somewhere. So maybe that's why I got that extra data file on the computer. I shivered at a sudden gust of chilly wind and was just about to get my phone out to call Kane when I felt a movement right behind me. Jeez, you nearly scared me. Kane, standing a few steps away, tilted his head, watching my reaction with mild curiosity. Did I? Well, why is that? You can't just sneak up on people like that. You could give someone a heart attack doing that. Kane just gave a barely perceptible smile. My apologies then. Ready to go? My gaze drifted over to my scooter, parked by the curb. Is it far? Maybe we should take the scooter, like yesterday. Kane followed my gaze, and an expression of awkwardness crossed his face. We'd better not. That thing of yours is too conspicuous. And where we're going, it's best not to draw attention. Oh, well, all right. Lead the way then. Kane nodded, turned, and set off without another word, striding confidently down the foggy street. I hurried to follow. When we finally stopped in front of a building I didn't recognize, I could finally catch my breath. We'd been walking at a brisk pace, and my legs were starting to protest by the end of it. I turned to Kane, hoping for a quick break, but he looked irritated. Damn fog. You don't like the fog? Kane didn't seem to expect me to hear that. He shot me a quick glance before nodding. Yeah, not this kind anyway. I glanced around. Just a typical autumn fog, the kind the city gets every year. Damp air, a slight heaviness in your lungs, a sleepy feeling. Nothing out of the ordinary. What's so special about this kind? I hate the way it smells. All citrus and chemicals. I blinked. The smell of citrus? Focusing on my senses, I took a deep breath. He was right. Amid the usual damp air, there was a faint hint of orange. What's with the oranges? Faint, almost unnoticeable, but now that I was paying attention, I realized it was really coming from the fog. Had it been the fog all along? That's weird. Orange trees don't grow in this city. Can fog really smell different? Does it smell different in other places? I've never been outside this city, so... No, it only smells like this here. Anyway, we don't have time for this. Let's go. I only just now noticed the building we'd stopped in front of. Was it an old police station? Now that I finally had a chance to get a good look, I realized it was much larger than it seemed from the street. A huge structure hidden just around the corner of a nondescript street. Without another word, Kane opened the door and stepped inside. So this secret safe house is in here somewhere. But he didn't say whether I should leave the door open or close it. Why is it in a different order? Why is this over here? So what would come out of leaving the door open? Would the monster get in? Or is Robbie following us right now and he would get in? I'm kind of leaning towards the latter. Or is Robbie the monster in this one? Or if Kane is still the monster, then we definitely want Robbie to come in. I'm gonna apathy because I assume that means I will leave the door open. Well, if he didn't say anything, then it must not be important. I decided not to waste any time and followed Kane, stepping into the gloom of the old building. Once I was finally inside, I saw Kane heading up a staircase at the far end of the hall. I hurried after him. We ended up in a stairwell. Dust motes hung in the air, settling gently on the crumbling steps. Through the open doorways, I could see empty, ransacked rooms. Layers of grime, cobwebs in the corners, broken furniture strewn amongst the trash. Definitely abandoned. But why? After climbing to the third floor, Kane stopped in front of a door and without ceremony swung it open. An orange! I followed him into what looked like an old police archive. It smelled of dust, damp paper, and mildew, as if the air itself was saturated with memories of forgotten investigations and long unneeded documents. My eyes swept over tall metallic shelves overflowing with boxes, folders, and stacks of paper. An old desk and a pair of chairs stood in the corner. Orange.
Fresh fruit in this abandoned place? Surely not.
Oh.
Damn, what was that?
Can I see what he was in the middle of saying? 3? No.
Okay.
Lamp. A lamp would be great to see better in the gloom, but there's no power in the building. For some reason, I feel like taking this lamp home. It's a shame that it's just sitting here all alone. I wonder if it still works. Book. Judging by the cover, it's some salary recalculations from 2019. Absolutely useless. Clock. I wonder when they stop ticking. I always get confused trying to read these kinds of clocks. Time stopped here. You can feel it in every speck of dust. Alright, corkboard. From a distance, it looks like some important investigation board. But up close, you can see someone is just deciding what's for lunch. Mac and cheese sounds like a strong contender. But the winner on the board? A bagel with ham and cheese.
Trash.
This place has been abandoned for about 5 years, if the records are to be believed. Can that much dirt really build up in that time? I honestly have no idea what we're doing here. Digging through garbage isn't very appealing, even if it's just paper garbage. Boxes. If I blow the dust off these boxes, I'll probably start a mini dust storm and have to evacuate. Looks like it's just boring police accounting paperwork. Doesn't look important. Man, there's a lot of things to click in here. Alright, these binders. I don't see anything interesting here. What was Kane talking about? If I were a cop waiting for my bonus in 2019, then maybe this would be relevant to me, but I'm just a delivery guy. Just papers with numbers that don't mean anything to me. Photos? People still use instant cameras in this decade? Looks like just a selfie of some officer took. Tuck lips were still a trend back then? Wild. And box. And opening this box, we get even more papers. A sea of papers filling every inch. Totally useless accounting stuff. And I think that's it. Can't click the footprints. Is he gonna monster jump scare me when I leave? So, this is your secret spot? That's right. He started looking through the boxes on the shelves, going through them one by one. Alright, now where did I put that box? I brushed a layer of dust from an old chair and sat down carefully, making sure it wouldn't collapse underneath me. So, you decided to hide your things in an abandoned archive? Pretty original. He glanced over at me for a moment, then went back to what he was doing. Yeah, it's pretty convenient. Not many people come to this part of town, and some of the abandoned buildings around here, like this one, have a bad reputation. So you can safely store things here without worrying about some teenager and their friends wandering in and rummaging through your papers. I couldn't help but smirk, thinking of my sister. Sounds like you don't know teenagers very well. So, this building has a bad rap? It's weird that I've never heard about it. Looking around it, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Do you know why? Because something happened here a while ago. Something very unpleasant. He stopped rummaging through the boxes and turned to me. There was a wary look in his eyes, as if he was starting to have second thoughts. Is something wrong? You said you've lived in this city your whole life. It's strange you don't know about anything about this building. Kane tilted his head slightly, his dark eyes studying me with a new expression. You know too much about things you shouldn't, and too little about things you should. He said it slowly, emphasizing every word. It made me uneasy. What was he suspecting me of? I think before we get to why we're here, I'm going to ask you a few more questions if you don't mind. I was about to nod, but then I heard a muffled thud. Kane's head instantly snapped to the side like a startled animal. I opened my mouth to say something, but then a folder of documents fell from a shelf with a clatter. The sound was similar, just a bit louder. Kane shot it a quick glance, then his gaze snapped back to me. I let out a quiet breath, realizing I'd been holding it. It looked like things were starting to fall off the shelves from Kane rummaging around for that box. Alright, fine, I'll answer all your questions, but only in exchange for some answers from you. Kane studied me as if weighing whether to continue playing games like he did yesterday. But after a moment, he just gave a casual nod. Fine, it's all the same to me. He sat down at the desk and paused, as if thinking about where to start. So, my first question is, I've noticed you live alone with your sister. Where are your parents? I tensed internally. My heart skipped a beat, then started up again, unsteady. I wasn't expecting this line of questioning. More than that, I didn't want to hear it. Our parents are dead. I answered sharply, almost automatically, trying to keep my voice even. But judging by Kane's expression, my blunt answer clearly wasn't enough. He stared at me expectantly, and I knew I had to go on. I don't really remember the details anymore. We were in a car accident. Our whole family. Mom and Dad were in the front, my sister and I were in the back. Something happened and the car was completely wrecked. By some miracle, my sister and I survived, but Mom and Dad were gone. Just like that. Kane listened to me with a serious expression and nodded, and then let out a small chuckle. I felt a flash of outrage. Was he laughing at the death of my parents? How very unoriginal. They really should change the story every now and then. I froze. My outrage quickly turned to confusion. What was he talking about? What story? If you think I'm making this up to lie to you, no. I know you're telling the truth. He paused for a second, giving me time to process what he'd said. It's your turn to ask a question. I opened my mouth, but couldn't immediately think of what to ask. His words had completely thrown me off, and I'd lost my focus. But after a short pause, a logical question finally came to mind. So what's so wrong with my parents' death, then? Kane gave a slow smile. Oh, nothing's wrong with it. I'd even say it's perfect. I clenched my fist but kept quiet, letting him continue. No one's going to ask a follow-up question or dig any deeper if you tell them a story like that. A tragic but typical car accident is one thing. A mysterious murder is another. Which one raises more questions? My head was spinning. Exactly. Is he implying that my parents' death was staged? Arranged by someone? But I was there. I saw it all, didn't I? But how could that... My turn to ask a question. I went quiet. He stared at me intently before continuing. Why are you so desperate to get into trouble? I blinked. What? You have a younger sister. Why are you trying so hard to leave her completely alone? A knot of anxiety formed in my stomach. Why would you say that? Kane leaned forward slightly. Answer the question. Why is catching this monster so important to you? I let out a slow breath, trying to compose myself. His questions were too provocative, too blunt. But I couldn't afford to lose my cool. I needed to think. I'd already thought about it. I'd asked myself the same question. Why am I doing this? And strangely enough, only one answer came to mind. I'm doing it for her. Kane tilted his head slightly. Care to explain? I bit my lip. I have this feeling that if I do nothing, that's when Haley and I will be in real danger. I can't explain why I feel that way. I just know it. Kane listened to me attentively, then nodded. Let's say. Then why don't you just run away with her? We don't have much money. I have to take a lot of extra shifts, agree to jobs others would turn down, work longer hours. But even then, it's not enough. We're lucky to have a place to live since we inherited the apartment from our parents, but our situation is far from ideal. I dropped my gaze. Even though I try my best to make sure she never notices. Kane lets out a heavy sigh and hung his head. I'm sorry. Sorry for what? He looked up at me. I'm sorry you feel like you have no other choice. I didn't know what to say. A tense silence filled the room. Then Kane abruptly rose from his chair and looked around. His gaze fell on the desk, specifically on one of its drawers. He walked over, opened it, and pulled out a small black box. He placed the box on the desk and looked at me. Because I don't have any other choice either. Before I can ask what he meant, he jerked the box open and pulled out a gun. And pointed it right at me. I recoiled, nearly knocking over my chair. What? Kane let out a calm sigh, but his gaze was unwavering. I truly am sorry. For you, and for your sister. I hope someone takes care of her. I knew I wouldn't have time to react, let alone escape. His finger was already tightening on the trigger, and suddenly a fire extinguisher slammed into him with a resounding clang. Kane was knocked backwards. He collapsed to the floor, blood trickling from his forehead. Is he alive? Possibly, but he's stunned at least. What do I do? Oh. Oh. Hooray for leaving the door open, I assume. Oh, can I not save here? Why can't I click these? Oh, it's all just panic. Okay. It's a fake. Panic. I froze for a split second, trying to process what just happened. My ears were ringing and my heart was hammering against my ribs. And just then the door creaked open and I caught a flicker of movement. My eyes shot to it and I saw a familiar face. Robbie! He just saved me. And now he's frantically waving me over, urging me to follow him. I saw his eyes starting between me and Kane's body on the floor, and I knew there was no time to think. Empathy? Pull yourself together, Bint. And my eyes darted to the gun on the floor, but I immediately pushed the thought away. The main thing was getting out of here. I bolted for the door, adrenaline coursing through my veins. I burst into the hallway and the stairs were right in front of me. The floor vanished beneath my feet as I bounded down the stairs, taking several steps at a time and barely keeping my balance. I could hear Robbie behind me, his ragged breath and our frantic footsteps echoing through the abandoned building, amplifying the dread. Every step was a near fall, but we kept hurtling downwards, and then... Finally, we burst out into the street. The cold air hitting my face, offering a brief moment of relief, but I didn't slow down. We ran as fast as our legs could carry us, not looking back, not thinking, just trying to get as far away as possible from the place where I'd nearly died. I don't know how long I've been going when we consider cutting stuff that doesn't matter. Because it says 1 hour 30 right now, but it's definitely not that long. But I don't... That seems like a decent place to cut it. So I don't know how much my actual going back at the beginning mattered. Or if I could have just done that already. I assumed it wasn't going to work because I was like, oh, well, Kane is the monster, so if I just go with him, then I just die, right? So who knows? I still don't know if, like, missing some of those traits is, like, just a thing that happens and maybe you can get them later or what. But... Or there's some other weird combination of choices that I just need to do to get the right options. Not sure. I'll maybe go back through off recording and see what happens. Anyway, I'm glad I kept the door open. Yeah, as always, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!